Hello YouTube family, Greg D here with TGN, and we are back for another DCUO video. Before we get started, if you guys aren't subscribed to the channel yet, if you could do me a huge favor and go ahead and do so, it really helps out the channel and it would be greatly appreciated. So what I want to talk about here today is what I personally would love to see in the next generation. Now, we're all pretty much under the assumption that DCUO is going to carry over to the next generation of Xbox and PlayStation, and even possibly Nintendo if Nintendo comes out with something there at some point. But I'm really hoping that they decide to bring us out a DCUO 2 for the next gen console, which would be amazing because I know a lot of people, and we all know this, a lot of people have, ended up leaving the game because of the development team. They've ended up um, just the way that the developers have gone with formulating the game. They just kind of, a lot of people have decided to leave the game, and the community is not as strong as it was at some point, but really what I would like to see them do is to do a second version of DCO just so they could start over, just so they could bring everybody back and we could have a huge opening once they did do that. So my idea for this would be, it doesn't necessarily have to be anything crazy regarding the origin story of everyone necessarily. So, it doesn't have to be something where, um, Brainiac comes to invade and we get these exobytes, and we all become powerful and all that stuff. The origin story to me really doesn't matter. It definitely should be something different. I mean, even if they take the route of like, the Lex Luthor shot something into the sun and the sun acted all crazy and that just gave a bunch of humans a bunch of powers, whatever the case is, blah blah blah, yada yada yada. It doesn't really matter. But the big thing here is going to be how they go about with like the mentors and um, doing the story mode itself as you level up through the initial part of the game. Now, I definitely think that you could have how it's been. At this point, you add on the DLCs and everything like that, so that you can get um, different content from different characters and you can level yourself up. But the main story should be totally different. So for the hero side and the villain side, the story should be completely different. For the most part, like if you were Superman on the hero side, if you're Lex Luthor on the villain side, the story is pretty much the same, just played from the hero's perspective, the villain's perspective. I feel like no matter who you are, the story should be a completely different experience. Even if you went from Superman to on the hero side, if you went from Superman to Batman, the story kind of crosses over a little bit, and I don't think it should. So one thing is you should have one thing you should have is different stories completely, different mentors to begin with, but each story should be different. So if you have, let's say, Superman as your mentor, that story should be completely different and not cross over in any way to if you have Wonder Woman as your mentor, for example. Also, I think you should do lesser known characters and maybe characters that can kind of have on the hero side, make it light, make it ribbing. So that's why I feel like your mentors on the healer side, or the healer side, the hero side. God, I can't talk today. So on the hero side, let's do Green Lantern, Flash, Shazam. Green Lantern and Flash are friends in the comics. They always kind of banter with each other. I feel like that would be kind of fun, light, would kind of get some feels going. So I feel like that would be a good thing to do. And that way too, as you go through the story mode, you're not just stuck in Metropolis or Gotham City. You can go to Central City, you can go to Coast City, you can go to maybe the Rock of Eternity in that case. And then kind of the same thing for the villain side. It should be villains who maybe have kind of teamed up together before that kind of banter with each other. So maybe you could do like the Birds of Prey for your villain mentors, for example. You could do Harley, Poison Ivy, and Catwoman You know what I mean? So that way they're all kind of bantering with each other, and there's, they're fighting with each other and that kind of thing. So I think that would be cool as well. I also think that maybe we should just do away um, with how the powers are now, how you see that there with the play from the tray, and you should do more so classes um, for um, your hero or your villain. So, like in the case of, let's say you want to be like a Batman character, or like a Robin or a Nightwing, or you know something like that. Maybe you could do like an enhanced human class type, and then on the villain side, it would be like you're a Catwoman, you're a Harley Quinn, or something like that, where you're an enhanced uh, human, meaning you have a large array of like martial arts and like combat, hand-to-hand combat style, um, like skill set, power set, that kind of thing. And then maybe we could do a Kryptonian class set, because there's a lot of people now that want like a Kryptonian power set in DCUO. So why not make it in DCUO 2? Why not make a Kryptonian um, class set? That way, you could be, on the hero side, you could be like a Superman, a Supergirl, Power Girl. On the villain side, you could be a General Zod, Anon, and Ursa type character. You could even kind of go further with it. It doesn't even have to be. I mean, you could start like how DCO starts. Start with like 3 or 4, and then obviously as you build the DLCs and everything, you add on to it. So you get like an enhanced human type. So you could be like a Batman, like I said, Nightwing, Red Hood, something like that. You could do a Kryptonian style. You could do a Lantern style. But with the Lantern style, for the most part, the powers themselves would be the same, but you could choose whether you wanted to be like blue or indigo, or yellow lantern, orange lantern, whatever the case was. But the one main difference is that no matter what lantern you were, there would be slight differences in each one. So, for example, like how it is now is like whether you're a green lantern for hero, whether you're a yellow lantern for villain, the powers are exactly the same. I feel like there should be, for the most part, the same, but there should be some variance. So it gives you more of a motivation to want to be to try both, if that makes sense. So maybe like 75% of the skill sets are the same, but there's 25% that's a little different, whether you want to be a hero or a villain. Another one is maybe you could do something totally different. So maybe you could do like and I'm kind of gaining like inspiration here from like a Diablo 2, what the class types are, like a World of Warcraft, or some of these bigger like online RPG games. So you could do the enhanced human, like I said, the Kryptonian. You could do lanterns. You could do sorcerers, or like magic based characters. So you could have something that was kind of like a Shazam, or a Black Adam, or a Zatanna, or John Constantine, Felix Faust, like something that's based in magic. And then obviously there'd be differences whether you're a hero or a villain. And then maybe the final thing could be something like a Martian Manhunter, where you're like a Martian and you have telepathic abilities and that kind of thing. So it's kind of like a mental with some super strength in there, that kind of thing, flight, invisibility, whatever the case is. But I think that should be how the game starts. The stories need to be different, completely different. They should not cross over whatsoever. Um, Mentors definitely need to be different. There needs to be some fun in it, so it should be a compelling, engaging story with banter among the mentors. Like I said, I think that'd be kind of cool. How we get our powers doesn't really matter, honestly. And then keep going the route that they're going now with the DLCs, as far as pulling storylines from comic books, like we had with the Judas Contract, like we've had with Dark Knight's Metal, that kind of thing. That is really cool, and give us a whole new world to venture in. Not just always Metropolis, not always just different variations of Gotham, different variations of Atlantis, that kind of thing. Give us something different, totally new, make the graphics look good. I don't think that it would be very difficult to do. I mean, granted, like the planning, the logistics, it would take a long time to do, but I think it can be done, especially with the new PlayStation, the new Xbox, and possibly a new Nintendo coming out at some point here within the next few months. And of course, this could be, several years down the road, but I'd really, really love to see that. Also, another thing too is make PvP come back. That I'm sure that is one of the biggest things that has made people go away is PvP, not having PvP at all in the game. So there you go. What do you guys got? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below what you think. And that's all I got for you today. So thank you guys so much for watching. As always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more. And until next time, see you soon.